נשמת זרובבל בן משיח. One of the most important mitzvot we have is the mitzvah of tzedakah. Jewish communities live and flourish because we have the mitzvah of tzedakah. Baruch Hashem, every Jewish organization succeeds because of the mitzvah of tzedakah. Most Jewish people, when they are in need, they get help because of the mitzvah of tzedakah. And I would say that the reason why Jewish schools can be maintained is because of the mitzvah of tzedakah, which goes in so many different ways. Many people open their pockets, open their hearts, and they give. But you need one position, which is a very uncomfortable position. And because of that position, Hakimian said, wow, this position is great. And that position is the one that has to ask for tzedakah. When he doesn't do it for himself, he does it for others. He does it for the community, for poor, for the needy, for schools, for Jewish education. Hakimian valued that position so much that they said what I'm going to tell you right now, that includes a very unusual word in Hebrew, and this is perhaps why this expression is not that known. Hakimian said, Gadol me'aseh, that's the difficult word, yoter min ha'oseh, which means it is greater, bigger the zechut of the one that makes other people do tzedakah, even than the one that gives the tzedakah. When somebody is collecting for Jewish causes and has the uncomfortable situation to go to each person and a little bit pressure him or her on, and risk that comfortability and goes and does it and spends so much time, so much emotional effort asking for money. Then Hakimian said, Gadol me'aseh, that's in terms of tzedakah, that's the greater zechut. That's the greatest zechut. And Mr. Zerubavel Mashiach, alav hashalom, it was really amazing. He took upon himself this great mitzvah. And I heard that one of his favorite causes is the favorite cause in the Jewish people, which is Jewish education. Ladies and gentlemen, without Jewish education, there is no Jewish continuity. If we don't have our children studying Torah in Jewish school, I think that we know this today more than ever, then our existence as a Jewish people is threatened. Jewish education is what preserved in the past, preserved in the present, and will preserve our future. This is not the time to talk about Bezrat Hashem having our own school, but in the meantime, and you know how difficult it is for people to afford Jewish education, how easy it is to go to a school next door that is virtually free, and you even pay for it when you pay your taxes. You have to be either crazy or a very good Jew to say, I'm going to spend whatever, and this is an unconditional thing that I'm going to do, to send my children to a Jewish school. But you need people like Zerubavel Mashiach behind this task and going out of his comfort zone, of course, and doing this thing. That's why Hakimian were so emphatic in praising and me'aseh, the one that goes and make other people do the mitzvah of tzedakah. I think that will be enough to say what a great, great, great part in the Gan Eden Zerubavel Mashiach has. But it's not, I mean, he did so many things, but I know he served the community with such love. I know, I heard from Elisheva how Zerubavel Mashiach and Mr. Farshi Levin were best friends. Best friends. And I know how much pain you have at this moment. But from the other side, your daughter told me that when you came from walking with Zerubavel Mashiach for I don't know, for a long walk, and she would ask you, I mean, what do you have to talk, the both of you, for such a long walk? And the talk was, what can we do to help more our community? That is the talk. Who does that? Only very few privileged tzaddikim, right? That this is their main concern, this is what they do, this is what they care about. Everybody cares about himself or his family, normal. But only tzaddikim, beyond tzaddikim, angels are the ones that are, their heart and their mind is put in that. One more thing I want to say is that he made us all kings. Let me explain. We all have the mitzvah of writing a Sefer Torah, or according to some Hakimian, when you acquire a book of Torah, you are fulfilling the same mitzvah. But there is a special mitzvah for the king. You know what is this mitzvah for the king of Israel? Besides writing the Sefer Torah, having the Sefer Torah, what is that mitzvah? The king of Israel, besides studying, we all have the mitzvah of studying also. One more thing, one more detail. Carrying a Sefer Torah. You have to be carrying a Sefer Torah with you. Now, that's a very big task. Even if you write a very small Sefer Torah, unless you invent something like designing a Torah in a microfilm that you can put it in your pocket and carry with you. With that, you are like a king, like the king of Israel. And what a great zechut that the Zerubavel Mashiach had, that he designed this incredible invention that allowed us to take our Sefer Torah here, close to our heart. And I'm sure there are so many stories. And I want to allow the other speakers to say they have so much more than me probably to say. But I want to finish with this. Borei Olam was very generous with Mr. Hakimian. He gave him many, many gifts. Number one gift, his wife. Best wife ever. When your wife is with you, you are the happiest man on earth. That's the truth. Your wife is okay, the rest, the rest, you couldn't care less. You need only a good wife. And he had it. Borei Olam gave more gifts. Belka, Mashiach, but more gifts. David, what a son-in-law. Elisheva, what a daughter-in-law. And all the grandchildren around. So, I think he gave us this gift to be kings. And he had the life of a king. Because when you have these families, you have these children, you have these in-laws, you have these grandchildren, you are a king. Baruch Hashem, I can see his son. We work close, so I know a little more about him. How much he does for everything in this synagogue functions because of him. But it's not only this synagogue, it's everywhere, chesed everywhere. And he saves life, not for a living. It looks like It's for a living because it's always with Atzalah, saving lives. So Baruch Hashem, what a great zechut. And the zechut accumulates from one generation to the other. And may we all learn and be inspired from the memory and the life of this great man, Zerubavel and Mashiach. Tino Sosura B'Sor HaChaim. Amen.
Joseph, my mother-in-law, Yeshut Harabanim. The year was 1998. I was a sophomore in college. A friend of mine approaches me and he says, "Dave, I want to show you something." I said, "What is it?" He says, "Have you seen this?" "No, what is it?" He says, "Come with me." We went to a microfilm center there in Queens College. And we took out the film and we put this under the microfilm. And there it was, all five books. And he's like, "This is amazing. Some person managed to put all Chamishei Chumshei Torah in here. It's incredible." Little did I know that was my future father-in-law, Zerubavel ben Mashiach. He was a man of many talents. He was an engineer. He was an inventor. As a matter of fact, he developed an Arabic calculator made of wood. All the letters, all the numbers in Arabic with a function that would allow you to adjust between Arabic and English. I believe the plan was to patent it and start selling it to the Middle East. For whatever reason, it didn't happen. But we still have the prototype at home. And after so many years, it still works. It functions perfectly. What you may not know is that my father-in-law also had a sense of humor. He liked to tell jokes, and I would like to share one of his jokes with you. This is one that I particularly like. That's okay. So, a husband comes home from work. He's very emotional. His wife asks him, "What happened?" He says, "Honey, you're not going to believe this. Today, I saved a man's life." "Really? Tell me what happened." He said, "I was coming home from work, and I see this homeless man that I'd never seen before, and he looks terrible. His clothing was torn, but he was really, really in bad shape. My heart went out to him, and I gave the man $500. All of a sudden, his mood changed, his eyes opened up, he was happy, and he started to get excited. And he got really excited. He got so excited, and it occurred to me that this man was about to die from excitement. So I quickly took my $500 back and saved his life." To say he was a kind man and he wanted to help people, that's an understatement. He embodied it. Like Rabbi Biton mentioned, he raised money for yeshivot. He loved Torah. He was also a big lover of Israel. He loved Israel. He used to tell me, "If you can't go to Israel now, plant the seed in your head. Just plant it. Let it grow. Because eventually it's going to happen. And you'll be ready." He was the quintessential husband, father, grandfather, uncle, brother, father-in-law. He was hardworking, he was disciplined, and he was a cautious eater. Very careful with everything he ate, everything he did. They say patience is a virtue. I can assure you, my father-in-law had patience beyond you can imagine. He spent hours and hours and hours with his grandchildren, whether it was to feed them, put them to sleep, sing lullabies, play with them, or just talk to them. He never got tired, hour after hour, day after day. His desire to help people, he infused into his son. No. His kind demeanor, my wife has. But he couldn't be who he was without my mother-in-law by his side. You know, she used to say that one of the most difficult things while he was in the hospital for her was not being able to be by his side, not being able to hold his hand. She felt that that would make a difference, and I believe that maybe it could have. What I learned from him, he used to tell me, he used to say, David, never give up. You have to believe that there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Never ever give up. And I love him for it, and I miss him very much. His last words before going on the ventilator to me while I was on the phone with him were, "Umida Khoda." I want to just finish with another one of his jokes. This was one that he particularly liked very much. He found fun. No offense to Rabbi Biton or the Rabbanim, but a young rabbi had started with his community. It was Friday night. He was about to give his first sermon. He starts talking. Right at that moment, someone all the way in the back stands up and says, "Rabbi, we can't hear a word you're saying back here." And right away, everyone in the front row got up and went and sat in the back. I miss him. I think we all miss him. We love him. I hope we can continue his legacy. I know Leon will. And I hope I can make him proud. Thank
I would like to start by thanking everyone here tonight. Thank you not only for coming tonight, but thank you for everything you've done for us. For everything everyone has done for us the past year. Sorry. The biggest thank you goes to my wife. My my wife Elisheva, who constantly support me, and at times even had to carry me this year because I'd fallen so low. Thank you. It was definitely the hardest year of our lives, and without your support, we wouldn't be here right now. Thank you so much. So where do I begin? What words can I use to describe the perfect father? Growing up, I always remember my father being the best handyman in the house. Any toy that broke, anything I had that broke, he would love fixing it. He would spend hours breaking it apart, putting it back together, fixing everything we had. It took a lot of years, it took many years till I grew up to realize that not only was he a great handyman fixing toys, but he was even a better handyman when it came to fixing relationships. Any arguments we had, any fights, anything, he always wanted to resolve our disputes. After I got married, we lived with my parents for some time. I don't think he ever took my side on any arguments we had, because he loved my wife so much. He loved both her and my brother-in-law so much that I have to correct one thing you said, Rabbi. You said he has a brother, he has a son-in-law and a daughter-in-law. It's not true. He realistically had 4 children. To him, numerous kids. My father, as David said, had unbelievable patience when it came to his grandchildren, and I hope to someday emulate. I'm definitely not there yet, but I hope to someday learn from him. He would spend hours, as he said, chasing our kids, reading them books, doing anything he could just get them to eat their dinner, without raising his voice a single time with them. He never once raised his voice or screamed with them. He mixed love into every spoon of baby food he fed them. His happiest days were when we asked him to come over to babysit. He loved spending hours rocking our kids to sleep and singing them lullabies. And when we got home at night, he'd say, "Why do you come so early? I wish you stayed out later." My father not only had a passion for helping us, but for helping everyone else as well. Any problem anyone needed help with, he was the man to go to. My father never did it for credit or honor. He helped people out of the pure goodness of his own heart. My father loved learning Torah. Anytime he was at home, not a single moment went by of him just sitting on the couch wasting time on TV. He would always have a book in his hand, whether it be Torah, Mishnah, or Jewish history book. I remember when COVID first started and everyone went on Zoom, he would love watching Rabbi Biton, Rabbi Maruf, Mr. Bisali, and you would love watching the classes on Zoom. It was what he looked forward to so much when we were stuck at home. So I had a little hard time when it came to choosing a pasuk for his tombstone the past few months. So with the help of the rabbis, like, what do you write on a tombstone? I had no idea. So they helped me find the pasuk from Mizmor 15 of Tehillim that really describes my father. It says, Mizmor David, Adonai mi agur b'olach am yishkom b'har kadshecha. Mizmor for David, who can live in your Mishkan? Who can dwell on your sacred place, Hashem? Who's holy enough to be with you? Holech tamim ufal tzedek u'v'der emet b'levavo. Who really walks wholeheartedly, who works with righteousness and speaks truth in his heart. And it goes on to say, who has no slander upon his tongue, nor evil, he never does evil to other people, who takes reproach against a relative. It goes on to describe literally what my father was. It was describing every attribute of my father, word for word. I don't want to take up too much of your time tonight, but I began by thanking all of you for your support this past year, and I would like to add I'd like to end by thanking my father. Dad, thank you for the years and years of unconditional love you gave us. Thank you for always giving me guidance in life. Thank you for never putting us down and always seeing the good in your children. Thank you for teaching me the importance of hard work and honesty in business. Thank you for being the ultimate role model. Thank you for being you. Dad, I love you and miss you more than you can imagine. Thank you very much.
Baba, I miss you. Grandma misses you. We will all miss you. I miss how happy you get every time I came to your house. I miss whenever you played cards and games with us. I wish I can just see you one more time and give you one more hug. I remember when you came to my Siddur play. You were so happy and so proud. You gave me $100. I remember when I read the Maftir for the first time. You were so happy and proud of me. You are not here anymore to see me read the Torah again, but I promise you that I will still try to make you proud because I know that you are watching me. We are all sad, but I think you are very happy because now you are with Hashem and you get to live with the angels. The letter in the word Mishnah also spells the word Neshama. So I want to teach everyone one Mishnah to help my Baba's Neshama. In Pirkei Avot, it says you should try to be like Aaron HaKohen, who always loved peace and always made peace. That was my Baba. He always made everyone around him happy. He never liked to fight. He never hurt anyone. So tonight I want to tell everybody to be like my Baba. My Baba loved all people, especially me, Baba. I have your exact name. I am Zerubavel. I'm Yehuda Zerubavel, and also my dad is Mashiach. I hope that you can always be like Zerubavel ben Mashiach. I hope to always make you proud. I will never forget you.
عرب بیتون با اجازه شما سروران عزیزم خانم آقایان محترم بیان so emotional خوب بود بازم داوید دوتا جوک قبلش گفت که خود آماده باشید ولی هر چی که گفتن درست دید خداوند ابراهام را چی صدا میکنه چی میگه بهش میگه ابراهام اوهوی ابراهام محبوب من ابراهام که من ایلابی دوست من رفیق من موشه رو چی میگه؟ میگه موشه نعمان به خود بیتی میگه موشه امین است در تمام خانه من یعنی تمام اسرار عالم بالا رو میدونه موشه ولی ابراهام چی میگه؟ میگه اوهوی محبوب من چرا خدا اینقدر ابراهام دوست داره؟ درسته ابراهام یه خداپرست واقعی بود خدا رو شناخت خدا رو پیدا کرد تو قلب خودش تو فکر خودش یک تنه جنگی با همه دنیای اون زمان همه اون دنیا چی میگفتن یه حرف دیگه میزدن ابراهام یه چیز دیگه میگفت The whole world at that time was saying something else rather and Abraham was saying something against it مبارزه میکرد نمیترسید همه اینا جای ولی اینا رو خداوند نمیگه به خاطر اونه پس برای چی اینقدر دوستش داره ابراهام میگه برای که میدونم لمن اشر یتصوه خدا میگه من میدونم که ابراهام حالا این پارچه اول پارچه هفته آینده میخونیم میدونم که ابراهام دستور میده تعلیم میده به فرزندانش به فرزندانش به دنبالش که راه خدا رو میگه این چیزیه که خدا میگه من دوست دارم ولی خودش خیلی خوب خداپرسته یه انسان اگه خودش تنها راه خدا رو رفت کافیه باید نسل بعدش هم بره نسل بعدترش هم بره این اون چیزی که خدا تعریف میکنه میگه میدونم که ابراهام فرزندانش رو تعلیم میده یاد میده که باید به دنبال راه او برن برای اینی که اینقدر محبوب منه برای اینی که من دوستش دارم ابراهام چی بود؟ مشیت خدا رو قبول میکرد. معذرت میخوام، مگه کدوم انسان میتونه قبول نکنه؟ کدوم انسان میتونه مشیت خدا رو قبول نکنه؟ حالا دوست داره یا دوست نداره، یا دینایی میکنه یا قبولش میکنه، ولی مشیت خدا رو مجبور بپذیره، نمیتونه که عوضش بکنه که. ولی ابراهام چی بود؟ با دل و جان میپذیره، هیچ گونه شکایت نمیکرد، شکوه نمیکرد، گلایه دنیا رو نداشت. این همه سختی رو میدید، این همه فشار روش بود، فشاری که بود، هیچ وقت گله نمیکرد که چرا اینطوریه. میگفت خدا میخواد، منم همونو میخوام. خدا گفته، همون درسته، همون راه رو میرم. برای این بود که ابراهام محبوب خدا شده بود. و ابراهام خداوند گفت که تو همون گوییم، تو رو تمام اقوام دنیا باید قبول داشته باشه. امروز چی میگن؟ مسلمان ها ابراهام چی صدا میکنن؟ ابراهیم خلیل الله. خلیل یعنی محبوب، یعنی ابراهیم که محبوب خداست. موسی چی میگن؟ موسی کلیم الله، موسی که با خدا صحبت میکرد، کلام میگفت. ولی ابراهیم خلیل الله، محبوب خدا بود، برای که همه چی رو میپذیره و میگفت اون چیزی که خدا میخواد اون درسته، پس منم همون را قبولش میکنم. عزیزان من، سروران من، سالی که گذشت سال آسونی نبود برای همه دنیا، برای جامعه ما هم خیلی راحت پیش نرفت. ناشکری نمی کنیم، بازم بارو خشم، خدا رو شکر. وسایل دیگه ای بود که اصلا جدا نشیم، در کنار هم باشیم، به طوری با هم ارتباط داشته باشیم. اما هر روز و هر هفته مثل اینکه یه وحشتی تو دل هممون بود که الان میاد خبر که چی شد، یک نفر دیگه است، یک نفر دیگه است. تعدادی که رفتن از بین ما، نه فقط به خاطر این بیماری، واقعا هیچ سالی اینطوری نبود. انشالله که نباشه هیچ وقت اینقدر زیاد و انشالله هیچ کس بی وقت نره. اما بعضی از اینها خیلی تکون داد رفتنشون. یکیش فیروز، هیچ انتظار نمیرن. هنوز شبا تو کنیسا توی تنت همونجا بشینیم، بیاد پلو بشینه صحبتی بکنه. همینطور داوید میگه یه جوکی بگه، یه شوخی بکنه درباره این ور اون ور. یک مرتبه گفتن مریض شد، به سه روز بعد گفتن رفت بیمارستان. چندی بعدش گفتن که زیر اون دستگاه تنفسیه. من شاید نمیدونم یه هفته قبل از اینکه فوت کنه گفتم یه تلفن کنم احوالشو بگیرم، ببینم تلفن جواب میده. تلفن جواب داد، یه چند تا زنگ زد اول ولی تلفن جواب داد، ولی همون حالت همیشهش بود پشت تلفن. بازم یه شوخی کرد، یه جوکی گفت، یه صحبتی با هم کردیم، بازم خدا رو شکر کرد، گفت توکل به خدا، هر چه قسمت من. انسانی بود صالح، یعنی درست تو کارش، تو کسبش، تو رفتارش با انسان‌ها، تو گفتارش، رابطش با دیگران، همه چیز درست بود. اون چیزی که خدا میخواست دنبال میسوا بره، میخواست کمک بکنه، همینطور که دیگران قبل از من گفتن. انسانی بود نجیب. وقتی میگیم نجیب یعنی چی؟ نجابت یعنی چی؟ نجابت انگلیسی ترجمهش نابیلیتیه، یعنی واقعا در یک درجه بود که طور دیگری فکر میکرد درباره دنیا و انسان‌ها. بعد هیچ کس نمیخواد، با همه دوست بود، با همه رفیق بود. اصلا مهمتر راه درست بود عزیزان من. همونطور که گفتم انسان چطوری محک قرار میگیره، چطور او را خداوند البته قضاوت میکنه، میشه قضاوت کرد که با رفتارش با انسان‌های دیگه چی بود، چطوری بود، تو کار کسبش درست بوده، فیروز همه چیش درست بود، ولی باز قبول کرد مشیت خدا را، باز پذیرفت. عرض کردم همه مجبوریم که قبول کنیم، چاره ای نداریم که، ولی خوشا به اون کسی که با رضایت قبول میکنه، دیگه خدای تو میخوایی مثل ابراهام، منم قبول دارم. به فیروز اینطوری رفتار میکنه، انسان بسیار خوبی از دست داد. ولی عرض کردم که میدونید هر انسانی عزیزان من یه طول مدتی رو مهمون این دنیاست. این دنیا یه سفریه که خدا ما رو میفرسته. خدا میگه تو باید بری، چاره‌ای هم نداری. وقتشو خدا تعیین میکنه. وقتی هم که باید برگردیم، وقتشو خدا تعیین میکنه. نه فقط وقتشو، چی جور باید بریم از این دنیا، چه ساعتی بریم، چه زمانی بریم، کجا باید بریم ترک کنیم دنیا را، همه رو اون بالا تعیین میشه. خدا تعیین میکنه، ماها نمیتونیم تعیین کنیم که من دلم میخواد اونجا و اونجور به این طور از این دنیا برم. هم چیزی وجود نداره برای هیچ کس. پس بنابراین یه مدت زمانی به ما فرصت داده میشه، مهلت داده میشه. خوشا بالا اون کسی که بدون این مدت زمان طولانی نیست. انشالله همه طول و عمر داشته باشن، ولی فرض کنیم 100 سال چیه؟ به یک چشم برهم زدن میاد میگذره، تموم میشه میره. ما خیال میکنیم که خیلی طولانیه. خوشا بالا اون کسی که بدون فرصت کمه و سعی کنه این فرصت کم را تا اونجا که میتونه راه خدا را بره، تا اونجا که میتونه رضایت خدا را به جا بیاره، تا اونجا که میتونه قلب انسانها را به دست بیاره. عزیزان من چندین بار دیگه هم گفتم اگه کسی میخواد به خدا نزدیک بشه باید از طریق قلب انسانهای دیگه نزدیک بشه. این راهیه که خدا میپسنده و پیروز این راه را رفت. امروز پیش خدا سربلنده. همه اون نامه‌ای که نوش خون اینجا داره گوش میکنه، همه را فهمید. همه صحبتایی که لئون کرد، داوید کرد، ربای بیتون کردن، همه را فهمید، همه را شنید و امروز در پیشگاه خدا سربلنده. امروز میتونه بگه که من تو راهی که میخواستی رفتم و براش ثبت شده و انشالله که خداوند کمک میکنه نسلش، فرزندانش، نوه ها، نتیجه ها همون راه درست او را برن و انشالله همشون کامیاب بشن توی زندگی. داوید 2 تا جوک تعریف کرد. ببخشید یه روز دوباره پیش من گفت یه جوک بکم، گفتم بگو. خیلی دوست داشت جوک بگو. گفت که یک نفر توی تکساس وارد یک بار میشه، این تفنگش در میاره، شروع میکنه به شلیک کردن، شلیک هوایی. میزنه هر چه آدم بوده از طرف میره زیر میز. بعد داد میزنه میگه که is there any Jew here؟ هیچ یهودی اینجا هست؟ یک نفر از زیر میز دستش در میاره با ترس و لرز، میگه get out، بیا بیرون. میاد بیرون، میگه let's go، بریم. میگه کجا؟ میگه مینیان یکی کم داره. بیا مینیانمون تکمیل. اما طور که عرض کردم خیلی خوشمشرب بود، انسان بسیار خوب، صدیق. انشالله روحش شاد و بازمانده هاش، خانمش ربای فرمودن بهش شاید بهترین هدیه زندگیش، هر کسی بهترین هدیه زندگی همسرش و بچه هاشه، نباش. ایناست واقعا هدیه زندگی، اینا واقعا اسست زندگی هر کسیه. همسر وفادارش، همسری که تا آخرین لحظه در کنارش بود، همسری که قبول کرد با صبوری تمام اون چیزی که پیش اومده در این 1 سال، واقعا با صبوری. بهشون تسلیت میگیم یک بار دیگه، به فرزندانش لئون، عروسش، نوه‌هاش، از کنم خدمت شما به دخترش، دامادش داوید، نوه‌هاش، به کلیه فامیلشون، کلیه فامیل حکیمیان، همشون تسلیت میگیم. انشاءالله که در شادی‌هاشون شرکت کنیم. انشاءالله عزیزان من خبرهای خوش بشنویم از همه جای دنیا. دعا کنیم که هیچ کس بی وقت نره. وقتی میگیم بی وقت یعنی چه بی وقت؟ وقتش کیه مگر؟ یا اون فرصت رو داشته باشه که کاری که باید انجام بده، خوبی که باید بکنه. به هیچ کس مأموریتش ناتمام نمونه در این دنیا. امیدوارم که خبرهای خوش رو شنویم، عاقبت همگی بخیر باشه، در شادی‌های هم دیگه شرکت کنیم.
המשיח אומר, רצה הקדוש ברוך הוא שנעשה לפיכך, תרבה להם תורה ומצוות שנאמר אדוני חפץ, למען צדקו יגדיל תורה וידיר. יתגדל ויתגדל שמר בעמים ועמדי ורחמתי ונצמחתי ויצמח ובנה ויקרב בשכם וחיים חם ומחם ובעיר הטוב וכיסא חיים אליו וזמן קריב וקרמה יש שמר רב 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 יתברך ושלווה
ישועה ונחמה, ושל דבר ורוח עולם ורחם הפרה, ורח לעם ישראל וגרמן, ונעשה שלום ורחמן ורחמן, ויעשה שלומנו עמו וישראל וגרמן.
אשר איש יראה את אדוני כך חפש מאוד, טוב שם משמן טוב, ביום המוות, ביום היוולדו המלכים הקבלותיו יחוס ויחמול מלחם. הנפש רוח ונשמה של נפטר השם הטוב, זרובבל בן משיח. רוח אדוני תלמדנו בגן עדן, הוא וכל בני ישראל שפנו עמו בכלל חכמים וסליחות, וכן יהי רצון ונאמר אמן.